Heel hooks have to be one of the most important skills you can learn as a climber. They're going to take you from average to expert. So today we're kicking off the Technique Fundamental series and we're looking at heel hooks. So today we're here at the depot and I've got Jen with me to give us a masterclass in training heel hooks. Jen, can you start by giving us some examples of where heel hooks are useful in our climbing?
Yeah, so heel hooks can be used in loads of different scenarios, but we've picked out 3 main places where we really find them useful. So the first one is a rock over. This helps us transfer our weight over our feet and off our arms, so we're employing the big muscle groups in our legs. It also helps get our hips really close to the wall. This leads us really well to our second point, which is taking loads of weight off our hands, which can be really useful if the handholds are bad or if you want to find a resting position. It can also be great in steep terrain when there's a lot of weight going through your arms. And the final key area where they're really useful is on compression arêtes, where you might put your heel around an arête. This is really useful for maintaining tension on this terrain.
Before we start training heel hooks, it's important we first understand the mechanics of how the heel hook works. The first thing we're going to look at is the profile of the heel or the position of the foot. With hook in the name, we need to think about creating a hook profile with the foot. To do this, very simply, think about pointing the toes forwards or down, and this is going to extend the heel position, creating a profile which will hook onto the holes. Often when we bring our weight of our hips onto a heel or we move into a rock over position, our heel will move on the foothold. So we need to anticipate where the heel will end up. The second thing we need to think about is turning the foot out or external rotation of the foot. This is so that we can place weight on the outside of the heel. This is particularly useful in steep terrain where the roof blocks the toe position or where we need to place weight on small edges. The next thing we need to consider is hip position, so where our hips are in relation to our foot. Firstly, we can think about shifting our hips towards our foot. This is great for transferring the weight of your upper body onto your feet, really good for rockovers and great for resting positions. However, this is not always the case, and often we actually want to think about shifting our hips away from that heel hook to lengthen the hamstrings and create tension through that position. Lastly, to make sure that you are weighting your feet and maintaining tension, we should think about the muscles used in this movement. Primarily, we're going to be using the hamstrings, the back of the leg, to pull and engage on heel hooks. Think about drawing your foot towards your hip. On steep terrain, and particularly when you have your foot turned out in that external rotation position, we also need to consider really engaging our glutes and the external rotators of the hip.
Okay, so next we're going to look at ways in which we can improve our heel hooks, both on the wall and off the wall. So the first method is isolated practice. So for this, you'll seek out specific holds you can heel hook and just get used to the positions and the movements. This is purposeful practice, so really think about the position you're getting into and trying to improve on your technique throughout this. Maybe think about getting external feedback as well, such as using videos or other people to watch you. Another way is to pick out specific problems where you need to use heel hooks or where they'll really help. So this might be rockovers or steep terrain or on arêtes. See if you can find a wide variety. Another way to train heels is to think about the specific muscles you're using and develop strength in those. Exercises such as single leg RDLs and glute bridges are really good for developing strength in the hamstrings and the glutes. So with these exercises, we're looking at developing strength. So you might do 5 repetitions and 3 to 4 sets. You can progress these exercises by increasing weight or with glute bridges going onto one leg, or again, adding weight to your hips. They're also great exercises to include in a warm-up if you know you're going to be doing lots of heel hooks.
So this has been our fundamentals of heel hook training. Hopefully now you know a little bit more about heel hooks, or can go out and do some training sessions to improve your heel hook technique. There's other things which are going to come into your heel hook ability. For example, flexibility is a really big one. We've got a fundamental series coming out on exercises, so keep your eyes out for that one. This has been our first techniques fundamental series. There's lots more to come, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.